Welcome, you beautiful internet people, to episode 8 of Kanpai Cast.
Kanpai!
Kanpai! Kanpai, everyone!
Kanpai.
Today, we are going to be wrapping up the summer 2021 season. We've finished the episodes, we've come to our decisions, and we are ready to share it with you. But before we get into the topic, we've got a little bit of housekeeping. So, actually, just literally a tiny bit of housekeeping. There's only one item, and that is someone finally figured out what we needed to do to get our Twitter account out of lockdown. So you can now go and follow at Kanpai_cast on Twitter.com.
I'm just going to point out.
It sounds so old.
It's actually LOz who worked out how to do it, because like we actually have a proper email account, and I gave access to both of these guys to the proper email, and LOz was like, "So you emailed them back, right?" No. I was like, "Why didn't you email them back?"
No, so I'll explain that. So Xeno saw that the Twitter account was locked, and I have been on his back the whole time, like an evil, stabby little monkey with a ice pick, complaining at him every way. What?
Like a stand. JoJo fans would get that.
It's an enemy stand.
JoJo. I'm not JoJo today, though. I'm not a JoJo character today. Yes, but anyway, so I've been complaining at him constantly that he just needs to find a way, communicate to them. Go through some options on the website. Go find a thing on a different website. Go through the community support. And he's like, no, I tried all those. No, they don't work. No, you have to wait weeks for them to get back to you. And then eventually he decides to share the email account with him. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll check up on him. So where's this communication? You know, just because he's going to prove me wrong. I'm like, I like it when he proves me wrong. And he look at all the effort he's been putting in, because he just put in a lot of effort for things. I'm like, okay, he's going to prove me wrong. And I'll be like, okay, you tried. Give a pat on the head. And then he shows me the email. And the email is like, oh, I'm very sorry that you're having problems with your Twitter account. Please try these things to try and make it fixed, to get it fixed. Try and changing the password. You know, try that. That should get it working. And then after these points, because he said, yeah, I tried what said in the email. I tried those things and nothing happened. And it wasn't working. They've got to wait weeks and they'll get back to me. And then below this it says, if you still have any issues, please reply to this email and we will help you out to get it sorted. And obviously the message, the subject of this email has like these codes and things. So I bet you as soon as you reply, some helpful person who's been assigned to it on the Twitter end of support will be like, oh, that's my support job. Oh, they're still having problems. Let me fix it. Let me log in and fix it for them. Oh, yeah, it's clearly a real person. Did he do this? No. So this poor person has probably had this as an active job on their list. Like, oh, I wonder if they're going to get back to me, these Kanpai Cast people. You know, because they didn't reply, so maybe it's working. Maybe they don't care anymore. Maybe they don't need my help. And Xeno was just like, no, they'll get back to me. They already did, and they were waiting for him to send just reply saying, yeah, it still doesn't work. Please help me. And that's all it took. And then the very nice and very helpful people at Twitter, because they get a bad rap from people like Xeno saying, oh, they take weeks to respond. We're waiting for him to fix it. And they fixed it in what? 2 hours?
A day, yeah.
Less than a day?
Less than a day?
It was... Well, I sent it before I went to sleep, and I woke up and they fixed.
They fixed it. So can we just have a quick hands clap? Thank you, Twitter. Thank you, good support, good hardworking support people on Twitter's end. Thank you so much. Yes, so there we go. We will never forget this, and this will now become the crowning of a new in-joke. Xeno cannot read, especially emails. Yep, the words in front of his face. So there we go. Right, that's enough for today. So let's move on.
Yes,
but still, though, so now the Twitter account is active again. I assume Xeno, being in charge of it, is probably going to be tweeting out all kinds of things about anime and the news of anime and when shows get announced and when maybe cool figures that Xeno likes get announced and things like that. Yeah.
Oh wow, that cool figures thing is a brilliant idea. You know, you actually have access to the account as well, right?
I have no idea what technology is if it isn't in a VR environment.
Hold the fuck... Yeah, exactly. You got this fucking crazy VR bullshit going on right now, and you're telling me you can't work out Twitter.
Yeah, can I have VR Twitter? That I'd work, because I am now as you can see, a virtual entity made of pixels, so I need it to be a sort of VR Twitter. In fact, I can actually see a Twitter thing for some VR chatting over there on some menu, but I'm not going to look at that right now.
Right, okay.
No, in fact, speaking of the Twitter account, as of the recording today, we just sent out our first highlight clip, which was just hilarious. I think it's great. I hope everyone does.
Yep.
I love it. I've watched that on repeat at least 15 times.
Really?
Yes, I absolutely love it. I just think the little things about it, the slow zoom in on me at the top, the musical crescendo up to that point, the fact that the I don't know if is that one take or is that actually cut audio?
No, it's sliced.
Is it sliced? Yeah. So if you did a bit of cutting out of some stuff so it fits it nicely together, brilliant. I think it's I laughed. I laughed so much at it. I think it is so good. I hope people think I don't. My only worry is people might think I'd hate when I was reincarnated as a slime, which just isn't true. But as we'll get into it, this last season,
it's just awful.
Yeah, it's just awful.
But to just round this off, we also have a TikTok account and an Instagram account. Pretty much it's just socials to drive traffic to the YouTube channel, and we can go from there. So it's all good and glorious.
I assume there's links in the description below, and we're going to come up with more ways to show the different links everywhere in every place.
We're on. I'm working on a microsite with. I'm hiring someone to put a microsite together. So if you go to kanpaicast.com, you can see all the various different methods of seeing us or listening to us. We're on Spotify. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Anchor.fm. It's shenanigans like that.
But our favorite is YouTube because you get to see our amazing video stuff and all the amazing work you've done to put this together.
Yeah, cool. Right. So, shall we move on to the main event of the show?
Yeah,
the actual today's topic. Which god damn it! I just realized I'm on BlueStacks this time because my phone's not working. So go to 3 people small. And then gonna go to we're gonna go through some of the shows of this season, and I'm gonna speed through a few that I think is.
To just point out, Turn Topper Gurren Lagann is not part of this season, but we're gonna just before we get on to the actual ones, Zena's just gonna put some random backgrounds on where he skims through the ones that do not deserve his maximum level of effort.
Yep. Okay. So we're going to blitz through 4 of them. The first one is is this? Yep. Okay, so we've got how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom. Generic isekai narrative. What?
It is on the background. That's cool.
Yeah. So generic isekai narrative. Animation gets a bit jank towards the end of the show. Like seriously, camera angles just go weird with the animation. Most of the time, it feels like nothing's being achieved in a single episode because there's so many long pauses. I just don't get this one. The budget on this must have been threepence. Some characters are established in the opening of the series and actually have proper nameplates, and they're shown in the first few episodes, and then they're never seen again. Oh, here we go. So the guy in black, you'd fucking never see him. And he's supposed to be the prime minister of the fucking country.
Yes, I seem to remember you saying that. Yes.
Yep. And then, honestly, unless this is your cup of tea, I wouldn't recommend watching this at all. But if you've got nothing better to do, maybe watch it in bulk.
Plenty of good isekais out there.
Yeah, it's really open-ended. And as far as I can tell, I don't think it's getting a second season. I don't think a second season has been announced for this. So I've got to stop using my phone. So that's pretty much Realist Hero. Unless you guys have any questions, I'm just going to move on to the next thing.
No, let's go
for it.
So the next thing is
Sorry. Before we move on to the next one, it's not about the specific show, so you can move on to the next one. Just a point: would people be interested in us giving us ratings out of 10 for these things, or just keep going with our generic? Do you think we should be ratings, or would people maybe like to see a breakdown and maybe we can make it on screen with pros and cons appearing and we can list some points? I don't know, just to think, if you can think, if you're listening to this and you'd like to see different ways us presenting the information, let us know and we'll have a think about that.
Yeah, I think a big thing is the audio component. So adding in the pros and cons on screen, maybe
we'd lose it.
Chunk. Yeah, but maybe a rating scale. Maybe a rating scale could work.
Yeah.
So out of 10 would be a decent one, but again, it's like everyone has different values of things.
Yeah,
But then
so
we could
subjective.
also, well, then you could do funny ones. Bland isekai out of 10.
Yes. So well, I mean, to be fair, okay, moving on. So the next one is the Dungeon of the Black Company. So this was actually recommended by chat by the comments chat Twitch. What? Yeah, so this is recommended by the comments at like one point during the previous episodes. I think it was like probably the first one. I really feel that this show was completely missold. It was supposed to be, guy gets isekai'd into another world and he's solving the problems of the world with economics. But there's like no economics in this series whatsoever. Like he is actually using magic to enslave them. Like, hold on, that's not economics. That's just strategy, right? If you want,
it's a different practical application, which could be tempered by his experiences from the real world. But again, it's not pure the real world economics and
we're not talking about profit margins. We're not talking about net gains. We're not.
But he's
talking
holding
about...
a coin right there. You can't tell me this isn't
Fuck
money.
you, right? Like, if you want a proper economics anime, you should go watch or Spice and Wolf or what was the other one? See the Control of Money or something? Money or the Control? I can't remember what that one was.
Is that the one where they go into a virtual world with like things and there's the guy printing the black money which sells off Japan's future? That was an interesting one.
Yeah, it really was an interesting one.
I'd say even Shield Hero has some pretty good economics in it.
Yeah. I mean, again, that has more economics than this. This is just like this has no economics in it whatsoever. It's just this is how it was sold. It's like, graphs. There's graphs in this. There's like a couple of graphs, right? By some CEO born. Oh fuck.
And this is Xeno who loves graphs.
Oh, I love graphs. Right. Okay. So, which goes completely missold isekai series where the main protagonist wants to go home the entire time. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well thought out series, if not a little shallow and predictable, right? A set of rules that the main protagonist cannot just win at, right? So this was something I really liked, where everyone is that magic from that world, right? He is not from that world. He cannot use magic. Brilliant. I fucking hate isekais where like, oh, you've never used magic in the world. You're the most magical person in the world. Like, what the fuck even?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it is a bit... I much preferred... And I love that the Konosuba made a massive trope of it at the start, where it's like, you are being moved from one world to another. For some reason, you gain these superpowers, and the Konosuba one is like, pick the power you want.
Yeah.
And he doesn't pick any of them. But it is weird that it's like, right, you've moved from one world to another. Have hacks.
So I will certainly give the show that positive. The goal just keeps moving for the main protagonist. So like his objective is, I can get home through this long train of thought, but if my immediate objective is earn enough money to get out of debt, right? And then that is no longer an option for him. And there's like, okay, I now need to earn enough money I need to now take over this region, defeat the Demon Lord, so I can go back to the country I was from. Nope, that then gets... He's actually presented at one point in time. He has the option of going back to the nation where they basically enslaved him, or go back to Japan, right? And for some bizarre reason, he doesn't go back to Japan. Like, the motivation makes no sense. The entire time, this guy wants to go back to Japan because he has the perfect life there. Like, this is him actually stood there, not wearing much because he can afford to do that.
Mm.
Why didn't you show this during the fan service episode?
Yes.
Because I don't think I'd watched it at that point.
Oh, okay.
So, but
I also love you say he has because he's rich, he has the opportunity to stand there not wearing very much.
Yeah.
I think we all have the opportunity, if we wanted to right now, to stand there not wearing very much.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to go outside ever. We have to be presentable. I'm wearing a t-shirt and a hat.
You
right?
don't have to. It's only because you're recording.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to record.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
like so he's got this lifestyle he's missing out on. He doesn't like that, and yeah, so I didn't like the fact that the goalpost was constantly moving. And
Yeah, that can be frustrating.
The ending was just meh. Like it was like, wow, okay.
I find that when the goalposts keep moving, it feels more like they don't know how to get from point A to point B, and so they string in a bunch of just kind of random stuff.
Yeah,
because if you're describing it literally as just the goalposts are moving and that's how it feels, that's pretty terrible. That's almost like they can't naturally introduce progression in their plot, and their world isn't an actual world. It's just a video game where you have defeated this and then the next thing comes along. I assume what you mean is that like they finish one thing and then all of a sudden they have to do another thing, which was never explained before.
No. As in, like, that objective. So he's got an objective. He's got a clear marked objective, and that's laid out before him. And then that opportunity is just flat out robbed from him. Actually, feck it. I'm going to slap on the spoilers. So one of the big things, I think, there we go. One of the big things for this show is, so he finally gets to a point where he's finally gaining ground and he can actually make his way towards going back to Japan, and then he all of a sudden gets thrown into the future of this world, right? He activates this portal and he gets sent, like, I can't remember how many years in the future. I think it was like 300 years in the future, and everything's gone to shit, and now he has to try and work out what to do. So he's reset back to zero. He's got nothing.
Oh, right? What? That's just terrible.
Yeah, it really, really is terrible. And then
I was going to say is that when you say about moving goalposts, a good organic way is that from the start they'd introduce that maybe, our big problem is this nation to the south, but there are these other nations, and if they solve the problem in the nation to the south, but then all of a sudden a new problem occurs with the nation north, at least that nation was introduced, and it's not a goalpost moving, it's the world organically responding to their actions, not just
it's the goalpost just moved now.
The goalpost just moved. Yeah, it's just like, you finished that objective. Well, now you're in the future. You have to do things again. Like, what?
So he finishes the objective of the future, and he's presented with two options. One, go back to the past. That's what I was trying to allude to with the going back to the other country, right? Yeah. But I, trying to be not spoiler. But then the other option is just go back to Japan. I'm like,
just go back to Japan.
Like, red pill, blue pill. Which one am I going to take? Well, I'm really interested in that blue pill. I've been wanting that blue pill for a while now. But fuck it, I'll go for the red pill for some fucking reason.
I think you got those the other way around. You mean he should have been like, this whole time I've been saying, God, if I had the choice, I'd take that red pill and leave this bloody place. Red pill. Oh my God, the second someone offers me a red pill, I'm taking it and just going to walk around going, can I swallow it immediately? Right, here's the choice, red pill or blue pill. Give me the blue pill.
Well, actually, it's try to show him getting attached to the world or the characters in any way, or is it just out of nowhere?
No,
is he not?
Not in the slightest. It's like he's not. He hates it. He hates it. So he eventually goes back to the past, right?
Yeah.
He's been missing for months, presumed debt, right? And then all of a sudden, this debt that was wiped off has actually come back with mass interest because they sent rescue parties after him and things. So he now has to pay for all the costs of sending rescue. It wasn't his fucking choice to go to the future. It was retarded, right?
But it's also not his choice for people to send rescue parties after him.
Exactly. I hated it, right? I fucking hated it. And like, so the goalpost kept on moving, and it just did my head in.
That sounds terrible. Right.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say, Nasuth?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, sounds awful.
Right. Does not sound worth it.
Glad I skipped that one.
Yeah. I mean, though, still better than Realist Hero, I'll tell you that. Right, okay, so let's go back. The next one I want to burn through is Idaten Deities, No Only Peace, right? So this one is the Mappa series. Mappa's a studio. They've done some amazing bits, right?
Yeah, that art looks amazing.
They've done Dorohedro. They've done like if you know Mappa, they've done some really great stuff, really like iconic anime in the last couple of years, right? So they came up with this one, which really threw me for a bit of a loop because I didn't know where this show was trying to go. And it doesn't really pick up until about episode 5. You can't really 3-episode rule this series. And it really explores like the concept of how these deities come into existence. They come into existence because of how humans like feel and interact with the world. So it's like it's cause and effect. The humans go through enough, they actually spawn a deity, and basically it spawns like an orb, and if a deity pulls out another deity, well, if a deity reaches in and pulls something out of the orb, they pull out another deity rather than letting them natural form, and it really influences. There's so much world building along with the demons and all this sorts of stuff. It was really well built out. The problem I had with it was it felt very much like a bad cop drama where major plot elements just kept on appearing just out of nowhere and immediately massively impact the narrative. So you were very much on a roller coaster ride as opposed to trying to see where this show's. I still don't know where this show's going, right?
But it's finished, isn't it?
Well, hold on for a moment.
Ah.
It very much felt like 4D chess, right? And on the 11th episode, right, a big climactic thing happened.
Which is the last episode. It's do you want, first of all, spoilers if you want, and also that's the 11 of 11 episodes, isn't it?
Right. Well, I wanted to get to that in a different way, but basically, watched episode 11. Huge plot twist, right? Loads of different things. It's like, oh fuck it, spoilers. Let's get
I told you. You just gotta be strong on these. Gotta be spoilers time.
Fuck it. Right. Well, it's more a case of having to like navigate back to the main menu and things. Right. So the whole point is that the deities, they've defeated the demons and they're actually winning, and it's great. They've even converted some of the demons onto their side through brainwashing, and like I think they actually do like lobotomies and shit like this. They do all sorts of weird.
Wow.
It's really gross. Like it's really grotesque, really violent, right? But the 11th episode, the demons have effectively subverted the deities. The demons have captured 2 of the deities and are torturing them, right? One of the deities is running around the world trying to find the 2 missing deities. And as far as they're aware, the demons are all wiped out. But the ones, apart from the ones they've converted, and the ones that they've converted have also disappeared, right? Or some of them have. And so they're led to believe like something's got really weird, has gone wrong. So that literally like the strongest deity that's been around for like 300 years, she's running around the whole planet trying to find them. The 2 that are missing, buried, and they're like deep underground. They're hidden away. And then it sort of like fades to black. So, I can't wait for the next episode. There isn't another episode. It just ends on that.
Does it?
That pisses me off. Huh?
Has it got another season announced?
Nope.
Oh.
Really fucking shit ending. I'm sorry. It's fucking awful. If there's a 12th episode and everyone else has just capped it off on all the charts, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm really sorry because, like, as soon as I found out that was the end, right? I'd watched it. And there was like they still had the outro. You know how most anime ends? They don't have an outro. On the they just have credits on top of the footage.
To it's so that they can squeeze in a bit more animation and normally round off the show on the credits. You know,
none of that whatsoever.
Normal standard credits.
Normal standard. So that's why I was led to believe. Oh, there's another episode. There's still another episode. Nope. I was fucking infuriated.
Weird.
I don't know if there's another episode to come in months' time. I think there was
maybe a movie or an OVA, maybe.
I think. Oh god, what was there was another one. There's a based off a Bandai game, God Eaters, or God Eater. Like that didn't get its last 2 episodes until like months down the line. I honestly don't know if that's the deal here, but seriously, I was so angry. I was really invested in this, and now I just feel like someone spat in my face.
Yeah, when you do cliffhangers, you have to be like really careful about it. I don't even really like him in the first place.
I think the last time I felt like that from anime was it Dead Man Wonderland?
Oh, that's another fucker that did that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they didn't know that they weren't going to get a second
season, yeah.
Right? But like, they honestly, Mappa, what the fuck?
Well, there you go. Go send some complaints into Mappa.
Right. So that's the end of that. The next one, unfortunately, I didn't get any background clips for, is actually Fena, the pirate princess. So I'll just leave the Idaten Deities background on there.
Izuko Ojo?
Yes. Yeah. So it's a production that's produced by Crunchyroll and Adult Swim. I'm not entirely sure what the relationship there is. What's the name of the damn thing? The studio is Project IG. The art is phenomenal. The animation is gorgeous. The plot I really, really enjoy. It's effectively pirates, ninjas, and submarines. It's effectively the plot of Naruto. Sorry, not Naruto. One Piece, but super serial.
Huh?
Would you agree, LOz? I can't hear him. Is he saying anything?
Hello?
Has he muted himself?
Should we pause?
Pause. Yeah. Da-da-da-da. There we go.
Yeah. No, to me, it always felt like a bit like the National Treasure films, because there's all the whole searching the historical mystery side of things.
Yeah.
Gotta go here, and oh my god, this book says that this is this and this.
I've never actually watched those movies. I really should.
Oh, they're nothing special, but they're just put them on, have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Nick Cage.
They're charming. They're seriously charming. So like
they're just films trying to be fun little
Yeah, no, I love that.
And Sean Bean doesn't die.
Right, so I would recommend for people to watch Fena. I think 9 episodes are currently out, and I think it's actually.
Any chart says 10.
Okay, maybe it's 10 episodes that are out. But yeah, so I recommend everyone go check out Fena, Pirate Princess. Next, we're going to move on to Dragon Maid, which I'm going to give to LOz.
Yeah!
I can hear the disappointment in Xeno's voice. I don't get to talk about it good.
No, he just wants to stop it, take his swaps introducing it. He wants to introduce it. He'll rant about it forever, but he just wants it so that at least I do a little bit of introduction. Okay, so we have finished the second season of Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Footage on the back there, and just because I even let Xeno know about it, there's not just, if you missed, there was actually stuff in between season 1 and season 2, tiny little snippets which were good fun as well. So we've had all of that. We've had our 12 episodes, and I have rewatched them already again. It's such a good show. You can tell by the fact actually on any chart that it's got the highest popularity in percentage for the season at 84%. It is a good fun romp. I don't know. It's a good fun, I'd say, slice of life, but you have the mixing fact. I mean, we've talked about it before. The mixing fact of these dragons trying to live in human society, which I don't know, I like, because it means that it's not just people. You could equally do this show with just people living with people, and that you could have the majority of what's going on. But they have that nice element, that almost fish out of water, of these dragons living with humans, that just, in my opinion, tilts the show to have a little bit more depth, a little bit more options when they're doing things between shows and between episodes, about what the thing of the week or the topic of the episode is, and what the objectives or what they're doing, or what problem comes up next, this time. It's a lovely little show. You come away from it, your heart will be warmed, and it's just, I think it's just enjoyable. So there we go. Now I'll head over to Xeno.
I loved it. I ended up rewatching so this started coming out. I then, with a friend, watched the whole of the first season and some of the second season as it was aired, and then the second season concluded last week, or it'll be technically like 2 weeks ago for everyone that's listening. And I went to go visit that friend again on the weekend. We just blitzed the whole thing again. Whole season 2. It's fun. It's really charming. It's really well put together. Honestly, it was great to see that this actually got a second season. I kind of hope that it gets a third season. But I think this is something I could totally just turn on, just watch periodically.
Yeah, I definitely. I think I watched the first. You told me about it because obviously this was when the first season came out a while back, and I watched all that in one go and started watching season 2. Then I stopped and thought, oh yeah, okay, well I don't need to watch this now. And then I picked it up again because I knew we had this episode coming back a few weeks ago. And I have watched, I think, all of season. I started rewatching all of season 1, fell in love with the show completely, and then started watching season 2. And I think I've rewatched season 2. I've rewatched the intermediate episodes from season 1 to season 2. I've watched highlights. I just enjoy it so much. I definitely think there is room to continue. I think it has manga that's continuing. There's still lots of different things they could do and show the expansion of the characters. Obviously, we have these dragons being fish out of water, and they all have to learn to live in human society in different aspects as well. So we've got ones which are trying to do jobs. We've got ones which aren't doing jobs. We've got ones going to school. We've got the interactions between those dragons and humans, between the dragons and the world, between the world the dragons come from and our world. There's loads of different avenues and angles it goes in. And to see I just enjoy it so much. Watching the different characters, which I don't want to go into spoilers because it's just watch it. There's nothing really to spoil, but I mean, there we go. We've got a whole bevy of characters there on screen at the moment. To see these dragons as they all progress in their understanding of not only they've all come from a world where it's not a spoiler or anything. They're dragons, so it's in the world they're from. They fight all the time, and they fight people, they fight gods, they fight amongst each other, and so they come to our world and. They obviously at first they don't know how to behave or how to handle themselves almost, and you see them all grow and develop and discover more, not just about the world. Now that they're at peace, they even discover more about themselves, and it's really interesting to see that. I don't know. I could just gush and say the same random words about it in a circle for 10 minutes if you want, but I'd say give it a chance. Go watch a few episodes, and if you're open to a little bit of slice of life and a little bit of just happy characters being happy, but at the same time developing. It's not that they're just everything is fine for them. They feel like complete characters with their positives and their negatives, their problems to overcome, and their interactions with people. There we go. I'm going to stop ranting.
It's a great show. Watch it. The end. Sure. There you
go.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no, honestly, I don't want to.
Give it a slice of life out of 10.
Oh no, I give this
warms the cockles of my heart out of 12.
Is it like being wrapped in a warm, fuzzy towel just fresh from the dryer?
Yes.
And you've got a freshly made bed waiting for you
with a root beer beside it.
Kind of weird, but moving on. Right. Okay, so the next one, I've already done a lot of talking, and we're going to move on to another one of mine. Right, so the next one is...
I talked a lot about that one, to be honest.
No, I'm talking about prior to that. So the next one I'm going to talk about is the case study of Vanitas. This series, it's a vampire-based series. It has such a phenomenal, diverse world, excellent visuals. The story is gripping. It's a little slow at the midpoint, but realistically, it really picks up towards the end of this part. This is a part 1, so the part 2 is coming. That's been confirmed. I kind of wish more was established on the current political shenanigans that are currently going on in the world, because there was a lot about the history of what's going on, of what's happened, rather than what's the current affairs of the world right now. Yeah, lots of lore, not a great deal on the exploration of the world.
So do you mean that there's a lot of things going on about the way they behave due to things which have clearly happened in the past, which haven't really been fleshed out, but you're feeling the presence of in the story?
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. So there's a big thing about how the vampires are interacting with human society, with each other, how the humans are trying to engage the vampires or deal with them. And it's just a really well put together show. Personally, like, if I'd rather watch a complete thing, I might wait for the end of part 2 before I start this, because I don't honestly know how far away part 2 is. Though, I mean, was it 86 that was aired in spring this year, and we got autumn this year, and we've got 86 again. So it it could just be a couple of seasons away before we get the second part of Vanitas.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was really pleased with it, and I do recommend it. This is one of the 4 shows that I watched this season that I actually went out of my way. No, 3 shows that I went out of my way to watch as soon as it was available.
What sort of genre would you say it is?
Oh God.
Any chart says drama fantasy.
Could be interesting.
Surely there's more than just that.
Well, that's the only 2 tags I see on there.
Well, Annie,
I assume there's some romance in there.
Hold
If I go on it, do I get more tags?
So Vanitas has action, drama, fantasy, shonen, 19th century, Europe, France, steampunk, supernatural, vampires, and based on a manga, according to Anime Planet.
I really should have picked this one up. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, it honestly is really, really well put together. I like the dynamic between the characters, and it didn't feel like some characters were introduced and then never seen or heard of again. So
Fantastic.
like it's another show. Yeah. So I think I would. Yeah. I think I've said enough. Do you have any other questions?
No, sounds good.
Yeah.
I have to give that one a watch, I think.
The next one is Sonny Boy.
Yes. Which I really enjoyed, but I don't think Xeno did. So it was a little slow in the middle, but I really liked the way that it felt kind of like an anthology series. Like, it was, how do we use these creative ideas in a show? But by the time I got to the end of it, I felt like it was more of like the anti-slice of life, if that makes any sense. Because you've got these characters who are middle schoolers, and it almost makes the adventures seem mundane the way they react to them. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get into spoilers. By the end, I felt like it was an allegory for life as a middle schooler. Didn't you say, LOz, last week? Was it last week? That there's a phase that a lot of Japanese kids go through where they wear like an eye patch and pretend they have superpowers.
Chinobo.
Yeah. This is essentially that. We're seeing their fantasies. They're not actually in another world. They're in the regular world. They're having all these fantasies together. Which is why 2 years later, they're all in different schools. They've moved on. It's just that period of growing up. That's what the series is. At least that's what I think.
Ah.
I want to, because I honestly dropped this series. I got 8 episodes in, and I was fed up with the constant world building. It's just like, just stop. Just establish your world and fucking deal with it, right? But I mean, did they ever stop world building?
Yes. Yeah. Well,
we're still in spoilers. So you can say whatever you want.
So the last few episodes are essentially what finally gets them to go back to the real world. But I mean, up until it's still them going to other places and having character interactions. So was it episode 10? Nozomi, big spoiler, Nozomi gets killed. And that's
really?
Yes. And that's what finally convinces Spy. Do you remember? I can't remember his name. It's the guy in the red shirt that can like fly around and break reality.
Yeah.
He ends up killing her. I think it's accidental or in the moment, in the heat of passion. It's really hard to say. but he ends up killing her. Because he's been commissioned by God to bring death into this world where there is no death. They were trying to do it to somebody else, but he ended up doing it to her as well, but that's finally what convinces Nagara and Mizuho to go back home.
So, like, do they all go home? Because I know when I stopped, they'd all pretty much gone their separate ways.
So we only see it from the perspective of Nagara and Mizuho. But when they go back, because they said, we have copies in the other world. So when they go back, they do see other characters, but the other characters don't seem to recognize them. And what I think that's actually, because this is by this point, it's 2 years later. They're in high school. That 2 year gap. The entire series takes place in a 2 year gap, essentially.
Right.
And I think it's an allegory for they've moved to different high schools. They're no longer really friends. They don't see each other, etc., etc. I think Nozomi's death in the show is essentially her moving to a different school. She was a transfer student to this school in the first place. I think she ended up transferring to a different one before everyone else graduated.
But there was earlier on in the series there was this. They do manage to sort of get back to the original world, but they can't be perceived by anyone in that world, and they end up finding duplicates of themselves.
Yeah,
and the girl Nozomi, she's already dead, right? She died by some accident or something, and a lot of them are mourning her death, right?
Yeah,
because it was only just recent. So, like,
I mean, she's not really dead in I don't know how that fits in.
So, like, don't get me wrong, it was a really clever show. It had a lot of potential, and I loved the way that the characters interacted with each other. But I kind of just wish it got on with it, because they were just milling around so much.
I think that was kind of the point. I think it was supposed to be surreal, and the only way they could really show that surrealism was through the fantasy. Each story is a different fantasy by the kid.
I suppose it was very much a case of that, like, they didn't want to. They weren't actively driving going forward and things. There was like one kid who was actually really heavily studying what was happening and things.
Yeah,
but it was very much a case of they were just living life. So
I think once Misaki shows up, it kind of starts going on a direction. Like, they all split up, and the guy in the red shirt that I was talking about earlier, he ends up. So before he kills Nozomi, he ends up in another. Misaki is trying to get him to kill these twins who can't die. Like, they keep trying to kill each other, and they just can't die. Everything resets. So there is like this sort of theme that builds up towards the end where they've got motivations that they're working towards. But I get what you mean. It takes a while to get there.
And it's a super surreal show.
It is super surreal.
Unless you're in the head of the actual author, you're gonna struggle to work out what the fuck's going on.
But I kind of like that. That's one of my. I like that sort of thing in a show. Sometimes they have to handle it right.
Okay. Should we turn off the spoilers and move on to the next one?
Yep, sounds good to me.
LOz. Le Slime.
Tell us what you really think.
Le Slime. Right,
Le
yes.
Slime.
We've had I enjoyed it so much, the shorts for it, which was, I think, about episode 5 or 6 when we last talked about this. The series has now finished. I have watched the all 12 episodes of this. It's the second part of season 2, is how it is described. So let's whack on the spoilers.
Full spoilers straight ahead.
Spoilers straight ahead. Let's just go for it. Well, because it's just the depth of what's going on. So I think by like episode 6, we spent forever in meetings explaining to every nation, like, there's 3 nations that turn up into the gazebo meeting, and then we've got to discuss, but then we have to break in the gazebo meeting because that character there is actually a giant dragon who's like the evil storm dragon. He's actually a really nice dude. He just gets lonely, and he's now reading manga. He spends the majority of the series, which he got released at the start of the season. So you thought he's going to be a big player this season.
Start of part 2.
The start of this part 2, these 12 episodes. Yeah. I'll call these 12 this season. He spends the majority of it reading manga in the middle of meetings while everyone else is having a meeting. Oh, God. And then at one point, they even the point where they stop this meeting in the gazebo to have like 3 or 4 people with the slime go over another meeting to explain what happened with the dragon and why the dragon's there, and then they come back to the gazebo meeting. I kid you not. Eventually, we finish the gazebo meeting when we decide to go beat our adversary for the season, who is called Clayman, who is a demon lord. Seeing as this season, the start of the season, this character, our slime is now also a demon lord. So it's demon lord versus demon lord. You think it's be good? There is like 2 episodes this season, or maybe 3, which are good. You get like 1 episode where all of our subordinates for our slime go and deal with Clayman's army, and that's pretty cool. But it's over too quickly. We finally get to see some characters which haven't had a fight yet have a fight, and they're really cool. I'd love to see them do some more fighting because it's rather than just quickly overpowering their enemies, I'd love to see them against some enemies which could actually push them, which would be good.
No time for fighting. We need a meeting.
Yeah, no. You see, we finished that once we fought that fight with the Demon Lord's armies having a clash. For the last like 3 or 4 episodes of the season, we decide to get all the Demon Lords together to have a meeting.
Hell yeah!
I'm not kidding you. They even call it Walpurgis, which is it's like a German like Halloween day in like early in the year or something is what the term comes from. But they use it in this for like the meeting of the demon lords, and it's all like this. Again, Clayman, this demon lord, trying to get one over on the slime, but the slime just outmaneuvers him really easily the whole time. It never feels like he's ever being pushed. And they decide in the middle of that meeting to have a fight, which is hilarious. And then the slime obviously wins, and then the meeting just goes back to having a meeting. Like the last episode. So the last 2 episodes are the Demon Lord meeting, and in episode 11 we have the slime fighting this Clayman demon, and he wins. And then then it's like, okay, I'm gonna die, this Clayman demon. So he like becomes this new form, he's like unleashed form, and you think, and that's how episode 11 ends. So you think, oh god, episode 12 is gonna be really cool. The slime's gonna get pushed to his maximum because he's gonna have an adversary which is actually gonna be really good, and that's gonna be great. No, he gets this Clayman in his ultimate form gets beaten in about 2 minutes or 5 minutes, and then we go back to having another meeting.
Oh, it's been so long since we had a meeting.
Like, we have a meeting to discuss something. We need to have a policy change and discuss the name of our new group. Yeah, okay. I'm not actually true. Any other business? Oh, well, I'd like to remove myself from this meeting so I can work for that person. Yes, these are the sort of topics which come up, and it's like, okay, that's fine. Oh, there's less of us now. We'll have to rename ourselves. Slime, come up with a name for us for this meeting.
And then one character. Please also leave this meeting.
Yeah, no, in that point, one character actually complains, oh, we have to come up with a name for our group now. We did so many meetings last time to come up with a name for our group. Luckily, the slime does it in about 7 seconds, so it's fine, and that's what that. But that episode is mostly, again, oh my god, it's going to be a cool fight. Oh, it's over. What are we going to do the rest of the time? Back to some meetings in a room at a desk. I do like the show, and those 2 or 3 episodes or parts of episodes where there is fights going on and interactions are really good. And I want to say I was actually going to try and watch some more stuff for this season before talking yesterday. Instead, I actually wasted the time going back to the start of that time I was Thingy's the Slime, the origin of this show, and started watching from the start. And yeah, it's still good that there was good stuff in there, and can we have that good stuff back? It really feels like this season they stretched it out because they don't have much left to do, I think, to the end of the manga or where they're at or where they're catching up. And so these meetings where they have all these characters saying things and doing all these emotional things, which probably gets flicked through in 3 or 4 pages in the book, gets dragged out to episode length. And it's just like, oh. And so those rare gems towards the later end of the season where battles happen and maneuvers happen and characters are using powers and things, just it's that feels really good. But they're like a couple of gems which should be the whole season could be a couple of gems, because actually used to be, instead of just dragged out with meetings, endless meetings.
Yeah, I mean, like I always reflect back to when Joey, the anime man, turned around and said that that time I was reincarnated as a slime is one of the best isekai out there. And I'm like, did you finish season 1? Like, don't get me wrong, the majority of season 1 was phenomenal, but it felt like towards the end it was starting to drag because, you know, they were running out of material. To me, the first part of season 2 was like, we've run out of material and we have to wait for the author to release another volume. So, you know, it just dragged on so much, especially like the lead up to murdering the entire army. And I felt like the whole of this season could have been condensed down into 12 episodes.
That's my point, is that, yeah, in the early episodes of this series of, you know, Time I Was Reincarnated as Slime, they would get through, you know, each episode would be a new problem, new do this. And what was one episode and we're moving on to something else back then is now easily spread over 3 episodes minimum. Yeah. Just that one event or that one thing. Whereas before it'd be like, oh my god, this happened, yay, and we win and we move on with this, and now this is happening. It just feels like they've slowed down far too much.
Everyone
and
knows
I know that there's,
if you want to have a filler episode or to have filler in anime, you need to have a beach episode. So they should have just done that.
Right, so they don't need to, because to keep this show, I don't know if that's what I remember someone years ago telling me that one of the things with keeping things popular in Japan is they have to kind of stay on the air. This show even has entire filler seasons called the Slime Diaries. It actually runs well, and they're actually they're decent, but they're just kind of like taking the setting and letting the characters just have fun. And that's where you have your beach episode, and they also do loads of snow episodes and summer episodes, and it's nice. But the main show itself is like where things are happening, but at just a snail's pace. You know, people are. I watch it and I'm like, yeah, people talk. I've watched this for 25 minutes for this episode. People talk and said important-ish things, but no one really did anything.
Yeah, one question I have.
Okay. Yep.
Actually, got 2 questions. Right. So first off, in the first part of season 2, it was alluded to that one of the demon lords had gone against their nature and was attacking another nation.
Yes.
If memory serves, that was Milim.
Yes.
Right? Does that get it resolved at all?
Yeah, she's faking it.
Okay, good. Right. No, as long as it gets resolved. Because I genuinely thought
that was good. Yeah, that was good stuff. And so you get Milim getting controlled by Clayman, and they do some good bits. Like when they first enter the Demon Lord meeting, Milim's pretending to be under control of Clayman. You don't know at this point, and Clayman actually punches her in the head and says, "Get out of my way! You know, move faster, you dullard," or something. And you know, again, I was like, "Oh god, she's not responding. Well, what's going on with her?" But it's just the whole thing of it was a bit of it was her pretending so that they could find who's pulling Clayman strings.
Right.
But then it's some humorous stuff happens in the meeting, obviously, because then people say, "Wait a minute, Milim, I know you were pretending, but you just destroyed my entire nation." She's like, "Did I know what you're talking about? It was
So what would you rate this out of 10?
You see, I do like it, but it's just if you get those gems, it would be an 8 out of 10 for like when it's at its best. It's like an 8 out of 10, but it's dragged down by just meetings this season. So if I was to give it out of 10, I would give it a 6, because it's like I love the show. I think people should watch the show. The start will get you involved, and you start watching the second half of season 2, and you still care, but you're just like, can I have more, please? Which isn't bad, but it's like, but you know that it's not can I have more, please, because I've just been given a good serving, because you've been given a serving that's been bulked up with water, and you were like, that was good, but can you give me all the good bit, please? So yeah, that's that. So it's still a good season. I would like to see more. There is more, obviously, I think, to come, but I'm just like, maybe put it on a hiatus for a bit, let it get more anger, and spend time doing it properly.
Cool. Right. Well, I think it is time to move on to the next one, which is Remake Our Lives.
I keep promising you I'm going to watch this. I never have. And I will.
Tried.
Right, you tried, okay. Right? So
yeah.
What do you mean you tried?
I tried.
You watched the first episode.
Try. I made it do or do not.
I made it through the first episode, and I was. I mean, but slice of life isn't really my cup of tea anyway.
I hate you.
I know.
You've offended me, good sir.
Go watch Kobayashi Dragon Maid. It's slice of life with dragons, which is better.
Fine.
So, in all honesty, Remake Our Lives, this is one of the other shows that I'd actually make time to watch. As soon as an episode aired, it was like, oh, I must leave now. My anime needs me. And
my phone seems to have broken, and I can't. Oh, and
right. So I loved how they executed this. The whole idea of so I actually Googled this. There is a trope called My Greatest Second Chance. So this I felt was a phenomenal execution of that trope, where you get to redo a mistake you made and make the best out of your life and things. It's well animated, it's well written, and so the ending leaves something to be desired. It feels like it's setting up for a second season, but honestly, a second season has not been announced. There is a lovely after credits section at the end of the last episode, which kind of alludes to good things happening. I honestly would recommend anyone to watch this. And now, Nasuth, if you wouldn't mind, because you're there, can you slap on the spoilers? So, again, giving everyone the opportunity to vacate if they don't want to hear the spoilers for this, because I do really recommend. I love this series for one simple fact. The guy went back in time, changed the past, and then it came back to the present, and everything was different. And he had to work out what he had done. So, like, all the people that he aspired to follow, the people that were classified as the platinum people.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
They didn't exist anymore, right? So, they were still alive, don't get me wrong, but they never established themselves as that, like, ultimate individual, right? Because when he went back in time, he used more modern day, like, stuff from 10 years in the future. He used principles of how to do, like, film production and game development and all sorts of stuff like this. He used those principles when studying, and the people that he was living with, the platinum people, did not like how life was leading that way, and they basically all gave up, right?
Ooh.
And I thought it was phenomenal that they showed the impact he had to all of their lives post going back in time, because it does another time skip back to the future, and he doesn't know what's happened. He doesn't know what's changed. Like, he's in a really successful position. He has a kid, right? He has also, like, but he doesn't know why the singer is not singing anymore. He doesn't know why the author never wrote a book. He doesn't know why the artist, and he had to work out in the present what had changed that just broke them all. And the thing was, it was him. He broke them all, and he kind of fell apart. He second guessed everything he was doing. Like, what if I make a choice now after I'm well established and everything that just fucks up everything else? I'm undermining, and he sort of has to second guess his own abilities. And
I'm sorry. You have to explain this to me a bit better, because I do remember the whole. You've explained this to me several times, but for me, that ending feels like, so he goes back in time to try and improve his life. He has improved his life, but he has butchered the three people who are going to be these best pinnacles of the population, and he's just destroyed them. And now he's also second guessing himself after he's made himself in a good position. I assume he's not a platinum person, but at least he's got a decent job and he's got a family now.
He does become. He is the sole platinum.
Right, so he is the sole platinum person, and he's just dicked over three other people's lives by.
He's super guilty. He feels absolutely terrible that he's destroyed their lives.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, like, before he went back in time, he met someone that hired him, and then that job fell through. She's basically working on an equal level to him, so she is a project lead, as much as he is, and he doesn't want to undermine her in her abilities, because he's always able to come in and rescue the day and things, but he wants to give her the opportunity to rescue herself. But ultimately, but basically he thinks he's done it again, but she's like, no, you haven't done it at all. I'm just I'm just taking a break. I'm going on holiday, stuff like this. But the big thing is that he goes back in time again to undo the damage he's actually done, which is where the show leaves off. It's like, so he's said goodbye to his family, and he's going to go back in time, back to 2006 to undo the damage he caused, and he tries to hunt down the past platinum people or alternate platinum people to undo his mistakes
and return his life to terribleness.
We don't know, because that's where it cuts off.
This is an incredibly depressed. This is not slice of life. This is just pure depression art.
I like this. Honestly, it's maybe I'm doing a really shite job of explaining it.
No, it does sound more interesting than it did just from the first impression of the first episode.
I mean, I see that this is the thing, Gatsby, is that I can understand if maybe a few episodes in that then he has the time to get back to the end point time or whatever it is, and he realizes he's dicked over these people, and then he goes back and he has to. I would much prefer a show where he had to keep trying to redo, and maybe sometimes he manages to get one of them, but then that one succeeding makes the others not succeed. And he goes, right, my goal is I want to do okay, but the others have to be, and then maybe towards the end he makes a sacrifice where he doesn't have to be. He chooses not to be a platinum person, but he chooses a decent option, but he makes sure he doesn't dick over all three of those as well. But instead, it just sounds like he becomes this useless second-guessing person that won't make any choice because of the potential effect of it on others. That's what he does, kind of hinting at.
He does. Sorry, apologies. He does. He falls into that when he's back in the present.
Future, yeah.
Yes, because of the damage he's done. But he does snap out of it, and he does help things. He does fix situations still.
And so then he said, okay, but then he could. So in that position, he could choose to move forward. Maybe he could choose to find these three people in that setting and improve them from there. But then he chooses to completely get rid of that progress and go back and change everything again. Is what you're saying?
One of them is his wife, and she will not move. And he tries repeatedly. She does not want to draw anything.
But was she? Is that one of the people on the screen?
Yes.
The blonde?
No, the
purple hair. Yeah. Now, in the start of the show, she was one of the platinum people.
Yep.
And then after he changed it, he's now married to her, but she's no longer a platinum person.
Yep.
And now he's going to go back, undo getting married to this person, so that she can become a platinum person, and he can return to mediocrity and pointlessness.
No. Who says he's going to change it
either or?
Yeah, I mean,
okay, you might have been fooled by that, but you've shown that he goes back in time and tries to change things using all this extra knowledge, and he makes it worse for them but better for him. And you're thinking like, oh, but he can maybe go back and make it better for everyone. No, he can make it go back better, and he's trying to improve those three, and he can make himself a homeless mute.
Mute? How is he mute?
I
know what you're
know. I think you're actually describing the plot of the Butterfly Effect movie.
Yeah, that's what this show feels. I don't see the point. I mean, I was interested by the original premise of the show. Now, after you tell me it's that, and that's what the choice of the main character is, I'd be like, no, this is stupid.
Maybe you would be, but in all honesty, I think it does a really good job of executing all of this, and. I wouldn't describe this as the Butterfly Effect. I mean, if anything, this is closer to the other anime series. I mean, a lot of people hated Erased. I actually really liked it. I thought it was actually good. But, yeah, I mean, basically, he's come... who knows? He might go back to time. He might fix things again. And everyone's a platinum person. All four of them. But...
No, he died.
You're determined.
This is a second season.
That this is going to be Two sides to the coin.
No. I'm gonna let you know what happened, right? In case, right. So just so everyone knows, if there's not an actual second season on this, what actually happens is he went back in time, undid everything, didn't go to the other school, and decided not to go to stupidity, and he becomes a mute because he gets attacked outside of his work at one point and stabbed in the throat, but it doesn't kill him, but he makes him a mute, and then afterwards, because he can't speak. Because then he can't ruin anyone else's life. His life just takes a downfall and he can't work because he loses his control on his fingers because he's also got his tendons got cut, so he can't move his fingers, so he can't game develop or movie develop or become an artist in any way. And he becomes a homeless person on the side of the road as he looks up, and the last shot will be him looking up from his cardboard life with his broken bottle because he was drinking from it and someone just stepped on it and then walked off and chucked down some coins at him. And there'll be a big billboard with all the people, the platinum people on it, and he won't be there. And that's the end of the show. There you go. Show ended, because that's what this is stupid about. This show is stupid. I mean, watch it. It's stupid.
I really
whatever. You like your stupid show out of 10. I could try and move things forward and fix it, but no, I'm going to go back in time and do a do-over again. Right, okay.
Just to point out, he doesn't go back to when he joined the school. He went back to the point where he went back to the future. Right?
So the exact same point he left the past, he comes back to.
Wait, did he choose to go back to the future?
No.
The first time?
No, he was forced to.
By who?
The mysterious will of the grand universe.
Let's just call it the Time Police.
You've got spoilers on, man. But so wait, sorry. I'm just point time point. Okay, so time point is the present day. He then goes back in past and then goes to swap schools. So we're on a different timeline now. He then gets to the point a little bit along when he's done some stuff. He's used a year or two, and then he's forced to go back to the present to see the effects of what it is. Yeah,
and he goes,
which is I don't know. Let's say a 2-year jump, 3-year jump, 4-year jump.
3-year jump. No. So he goes 2016 to 2006. He's in 2006.
10-year jump back. Yep.
Yeah, naturally in there till 2008, and then he jumps back to 2018.
2018.
Wow. So it's he goes to the future of his life.
Oh, so we have to work in 10 years, yeah?
It seems to be. Right.
It seems to be, yeah. Right. And then after going back to 2018, he then goes, oh God, this is not bad. So then he goes back to 2008, you're saying, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, that's my thing still plays effects. He then 2008, he then quits his job, he then says everything he's wrong, and then platinum people get to be platinum people, and he ends his life living in a cardboard box looking up at them. This is just stupid. Just move on, let's go away. This is stupid. I hate it.
I disagree admittedly without having seen it. I disagree that it has to
You
be
got
that
bored
black
and only
white.
watched one episode. You don't get to talk.
That's true. That's true.
But I've resold it, and he loves it. And you're wrong. Right, so let's see
that bottle? That's that bottle there, right? When he's in his cardboard box, see that brown bottle on the desk with the grape on?
Yes.
See, when he's in his cardboard box, that was the drink he bought because it was reminding him of these good times with his friends. And then that's the bottle that gets smashed in front of him by somebody walking by.
Right, let's move on. Let's move on.
Depression out of 10.
Depression out of 10. I mean, it's not even depressing. It's time travel out of 10. Right, so we've just done Remake Our Lives. The next one is Battle After 5 Seconds. Battle Game in 5 Seconds. That was it. I swear it's Battle After 5 Seconds of Meeting. There you go. Nasuth.
Oh, sorry. It's just to remind me, is this the one where the guy's got the powers where he has to convince his opponent what his powers are? Right. Oh, cool. I remember this one. Right. Okay, cool. Right. Go. Was it good?
So, no. I mean, I stopped watching it after 3 or 4 episodes, something like that. Maybe 5 or 6. I don't remember. But I jumped into episode 10 or 11 just to see if anything had changed. Nothing has changed. He is still this super smart little shit. His power still is absolute just god-awful bullshit. Yeah. The enemies are... I wouldn't say the enemies are stupid. They're not terrible. But they're stupid. They're not great either. Yeah. So, God, do I want to get into what I saw in episode 11 or 12 or whatever it was?
I'll happily get into the spot. Like,
if you watched more of it, you tell me.
No, I watched up to like 9 or 10. And then I was like, I can't be fucked anymore. So basically, both Nasuth and I dropped this series.
Oh, it's so boring. He's just way too smart. So there's nothing wrong with he has no flaws.
He does.
Bullshit.
His biggest flaw is that there's too much. I think that he thinks that I think that he thinks that I think that he thinks that I'm Kira.
That's a
if
flaw
I throw this pen.
That's a flaw to us, not to his character. Like from the character's
It's a stupid character
from the
design.
anime's point of view, that's a good thing. It's so I hate it.
It's not 4D chess, right? It's fucking trying to shoot some rolled up paper in a waste paper basket with a hoop, and if you win, you're the serial killer.
Yeah, I shouldn't actually say the character is smart. It's that the anime wants you to think the character is smart.
It's a game of resistance, right? If anyone's played the tabletop game Resistance, or Bang, or Avalon, or Werewolf, right? That's what I fucking hate that bullshit of like, the mental gymnastics of 4D chess, but it's only in my head. It's fucking retarded, right?
Kind of sucks, really.
Right. So, in the first 4 episodes, we have a 1v1 battle, right? To which, no surprise, our main protagonist fucking wins. And we have a 5v5,
but it's not all at the same time. They have to each take turns.
Yeah. It's just a tournament. It's team v team, right? And then after that, it goes into some weird fucking bullshit of, oh yeah, we've now gone out into another level of this secret dungeon where there's a sky.
Yeah.
So we're outside. No, you're still underground. And then it's like there's communities.
What?
And like and
there's a red team and a green team, and oh my god,
and a blue team. There's a blue team.
There's a blue
as well.
team too.
And
oh fuck me.
so the green team and the red team just hate each other for some reason, right? The red team are just dickheads. The green team have built an actual fucking fort, right? As opposed to using some disheveled, what was it? Factory, right? And the blue team, I don't know where the fuck the blue team make no appearance in it whatsoever, but they keep on fucking referring to them. And then it's like, oh my god, it's you know, that one point, oh god, I can't remember when it was. I think it's like over episode 120 in the original Naruto series LOz, where they were sort of like standing around trying to suss each other's, like, oh, I'm going to expect you to do this. Because basically they were running out of manga and they were just filling in crap with just the he thinks that I think that. It was just fucking bullshit like this. Like, he explains to people what his ability is, right?
Right.
He tells one of the characters, he tells this girl, right? Think really hard that my ability is to teleport. But your ability is the arm cannon.
I remember you saying this.
No. Think real super fucking hard.
Convince
my
yourself.
Ability is... Yeah, and then all of a sudden he can just teleport. And then he comes back with the arm cannon. And I was like, no. How the fuck do you have the arm cannon? Right? And it's really...
The exasperation there was massive. I could see the just draining out of your shoulders there.
And like the weirdest things is that the battles between the other characters are normal. They make fucking sense.
Yep.
Because the other characters don't have this retarded bullshit power of my ability is whatever you think it is.
Right.
It's just mind fuckingly stupid, right? And one person, right, has the ability to duplicate someone else's power. So she knows what everyone's powers are. She can duplicate anyone else's power for, was it like 1/10 of the duration or
no, it's the power. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it depends on the type of power it is. Like if you're invulnerable, you're still invulnerable, but for 1/10 of the time.
Yeah,
But anyway,
right.
So she
one
knows.
That's invulnerable for like 2 seconds or whatever, and for her it's like 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, so she knows verbatim, right, what his power is, and he tries to convince her, like, you know, he's like, oh, you're on my team now. I need you to think my power is this. No, but I know your power is this. And I was like, no, I need you to think real. I'm sorry. It's like saying,
so dumb.
Don't think of pink elephants.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? So, I couldn't take it. And the fact that from episode 5 to 8 or 9, I can't remember how far I got, it was this fucking outdoor environment TV team shit. I was just like,
oh, they were still in the one I watched. They were like working towards moving to the next level because only one team can survive.
So 4 episodes of actually something happens versus 8 episodes of
Yep. Just people standing around talking, making plans. I assume.
I and the voice actress for the purple-haired woman, the one in the suit with the tie, right?
This one here.
Fuck her voice. Oh my fucking god, it's so infuriating. It's just like, wow. Just fucking clear your throat for fuck's sake. Like, stop trying to put on some weird voice. Just talk like a person.
No, she's a Cheshire cat. So
talk like this the entire time because I'm going around here.
Yeah, it does kind of sound like
that in Japanese. It sounds like that.
Yes.
Oh,
wow. It sounds like she's got mashed potatoes in her mouth.
It's so weird. And like she's pinching her larynx because it's just so fucking infuriating.
This is randomly just as a complete side to get out of order here, but I do remember one point Kobayashi Dragon Maid. They actually do a really good. They do a passable point where people start talking English, and it doesn't make me cringe up the world.
Yes.
Whereas,
that was excellent. I
love
love that.
Weird. It wasn't perfect, but it was all right. Where now you're saying that this person
was perfect.
No, but it's not just the hot dog vendor. It was also other people around.
The other people that.
Yeah, but you're saying that this person had a terrible voice in Japanese. That's quite impressive.
Fuck it. Oh well, you should.
I'm going to listen to it just for this one character now. Just I want to hear this.
You should listen to Black Butler. Right, Black Butler has the main character. His voice is so infuriating. I want to punch him. I couldn't get through the first episode. His voice, not Black Butler. Sorry, Black Clover. Sorry, his voice. Right. Let's move on to the next thing.
Out of 10.
I think that he thinks that I think it's 0 out of 10.
Agreed.
Nice.
Right, I think the next
we should
one
stay with the silly ones. They're better, actually.
Oh yeah, you finished off My Hero Academia from spring, I think.
Okay, yeah. So My Academia's it's done like 24 episodes, so it's gone from spring to summer, and it continued on. Obviously it's not split. So the thing is, Slime is kind of the same, but they split it with these filler episodes with arc, whereas this has just been constant throughout. To address the whole thing as a whole for this season, going from spring into summer, it's been pretty good. I would say the spring side of thing focused more on the heroes themselves, which is all the footage here where you see them going on different missions and being assigned to groups and things. The summer one, which I thought was really cool because it finally gave the villains their time in the let's show them some progression. So it's not, I love this because it was actually showing them as characters. We explored the backstories of some of the characters. That they even had their own enemies to fight that weren't the heroes, if that made sense. It was almost like 2 packs of villains fighting. I'm not going to bother putting spoilers on because I'm there, but it was some good stuff. It was actually good at world building. It was nice. It felt quite refreshing to not have the focus be following this group of, I know it's called My Hero Academia and it focuses mainly on the school students, but we actually had a nice breath, a nice refreshing boost by having this whole arc be following the main villains. It was just so cool, and they've got to progress themselves. I feel like you look at Dragon Ball Z, and for the most part, I would say in, let's say, Dragon Ball Z, the villain turns up and the heroes have to try and always get themselves stronger to beat the villain. Mm-hmm. You never see the villain go training, do you?
No,
you never see the villain having to.
Technically, in Super, I guess you see Frieza. Well, Frieza says he trained while he was trapped down in hell.
Yeah, you might get that. You might get like, I trained
but
to
Frieza's also
unlock this new level.
Frieza was also doing like a half face turn at that point, so I don't know if it still counts as a villain.
But also, Frieza was also a bit of he helped the good guys in the tournament. And things
exactly.
Like
that,
so. Yeah.
I thought you were about to say Frieza's a bit of a hippie.
But no, so in this we get to see the villains trying to improve themselves, and obviously they do through the challenges they're forced to overcome. It's also a bit gruesome, a bit violent at points, because obviously they're not. It's nice to see the hero side of thing. Obviously, some of them have some broken powers, but they're never going to abuse them all. Like in the middle of the shot there, you've got the pink lady, who's her hero. Her main power is the ability to produce acid from her body. You know, we're never gonna see her melting a whole room of people. We're never going to see that because she's a hero. So it's nice to see the villains with these power sets and just going to town, and then also against other people that push them, so they have to, improve themselves and go to a new level themselves. So in order to overcome the adversity that's in front of them. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I will admit I haven't watched the last half of the last episode. I just didn't get. I was watching it and I got a bit bored and then I didn't get finished. But I doubt there's anything massive in that episode that changed it. I say this, I'm going to watch after and be like, but no, it was good. Changed. It was good. Then then the Fire Nation attacked. But no, so I would say the show is still going strong, which is good. Pick it up if you haven't. You've got lots to watch now. The characters are really compelling. You've got a whole variety of people, so you're definitely going to find someone that'll you'll be rooting for on the heroes or the villain side. They're doing a good job building the world as well. World building. It's not just the case of this here, as you see here with these people fight. This is the spring season, whereas mainly again it was two classes having a bit of a fight, a bit like a tournament arc, a bit meh. But the second half of this with the villains really was a lovely palette cleanser. Did some nice world building as well. Gave us background to our villains. Good show. I don't know what to name it out of 10. So
I do have a question for you. This shouldn't hit spoilers. So I stopped watching the show around where they were getting their hero licenses. I don't know if that was first year or second year or whatever. It doesn't matter. But the point was that the majority of the series is tournament arc after tournament arc. Right. The best part of the series I liked was when the heroes were out in the streets fighting the villains or getting caught out by the villains or whatever. That was the best part. Does that come back?
Yeah, no. So a lot of this is mainly that. So there's only at this point only two of them at the start of this season in the spring didn't have their licenses. They now have their licenses. A few episodes into this, so everyone is now like at the summer. This bit with the Christmas party. This is after they've all come back together. After they've all been out separately with different bigger heroes doing, we have a couple episodes with this character, a couple hours of this character with this hero, and this is the problem, and they have to work together in two teams to go fight this villain that's doing this, and we've got to do this drug bust and whatever. So there is a lot more working with the official heroes, and a lot more development with that. Yeah, I don't think they spend ever an entire lesson in the classroom, apart from the point where they make two classes fight each other. But then that is pretty cool because they're actually fighting each other. I think it's mainly focused on the world building, them becoming heroes properly now, and spending most of their time outside in the real world. Like, so you've got these three here. I'm terrible. I'm not going to terrible names, but yeah, you see in the corner you got Endeavor, who's now the number one hero, and he is they're with him going out in the real world.
Right.
I can't work placement or something they call it,
So yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. So the big thing for me with what you've just described, and I want to just completely confirm, you're saying that they've got like a few episodes to do with a couple of heroes in one fight. So it's one setting. It doesn't do like the whole Game of Thrones jumping from location to location to location, does it?
Oh no! Yeah, no. It's like they got the frog girl in the middle there, you know the bit where you see them all in their swimsuits. Yeah. That's one episode where we have two groups of them working together with two of the heroes, and then they have to go on those two heroes are working. The one's working on land or something that then becomes a sea issue because they're chasing down a criminal with a drugs thing. So that is the story for this episode. We won't go bouncing off to look at some other characters. We're going to resolve this plot here and now.
You see, that's one of my biggest. That's something that I dislike with a lot of, especially Western stuff. It's like they just bounce around or just fucking focus on an episode on like a small subset of the team. And get that done, and then move on to the next subset.
Nope,
right?
Gotta have an A plot and a B plot, or a C plot and a D plot. If you're Game of Thrones,
plot, and a Batman plot,
and
an Alpha plot. Right. So let's.
Wait, I have one more question about My Hero Academia. It's in the Christmas picture. How it's very important. I must know. How did they choose who got to wear green and who got to wear red?
I don't think they did. They just
Damn it.
randomly handed out costumes.
Oh, my whole world is shattered.
I can't remember. Is it the girls wearing green or anything? Or is it just they're all randomly wearing colors?
I think they're all just randomly wearing.
It's funny watching Japanese people do Christmas because they're like everyone's wearing a Santa costume. It's like that. What? Maybe one person should be Santa. Everyone else could be other things. No. We all wear Santa costumes for Christmas. It's like what? And we eat fried chicken. What?
Hell yeah!
Why?
So I eat Chinese food for Christmas. So I mean, why not?
Because over here on Christmas Day,
everything is closed, but Chinese places.
Yeah, it's a national holiday. You're not allowed to be open. Yep. So
yeah. I will give this a. It's going to continue to make money out of 10.
Sorry, what?
It's going to continue to keep making money out of 10.
Okay, cool. Right, let's move on to the next one, which is Jahy. I'm gonna go first.
So this is another one that I dropped really early on because I mean it feels very sitcom-y to me, and then that's fine, but I don't really watch a lot of sitcoms because they tend to be very samey. It's the same jokes, it's the same situations. It's always it never really develops into anything else. So I dropped this one pretty early on. I did the same thing that I did with Battle after 5 seconds, where I jumped into a later episode just recently to see if it was different, and it seemed pretty much the same. Jahy does something. She wants to be all independent and strong, and then somebody helps her, and she breaks down slowly and feels like she could like them. And then the maid or the landlady comes in with her big boobs.
No, that's the owner of the pub.
Oh, yes, the owner of the pub, yes.
Yeah.
Landlady's sister.
Yeah. LOz?
Yeah, I mean, Naz saying it like that doesn't make it feel that's how it's going to be. I do want to go back and finish this, but seeing as it's an ongoing show, it's not actually finished yet, I don't think.
Correct.
I think we're episode 12 or something?
Oh, no. I think we're like... Oh, God,
we're on episode 10 out of 20 at the moment, or at point of recording. Yeah, so obviously that's a put for one pitch. The other pitch I'm going to feel is that the story seems to be a case of Jahy wants to continue their goal of getting more of these red crystals to help to move the plot along. So they're going to try really hard, and then hijinks will ensue, and they're going to fail miserably a bit, and then maybe they'll get a crystal at the end, and they're like, "Oh, isn't that sweet? They got one crystal, whoop-de-doo." Or they don't get the crystal, or someone else gets the crystal, and they tried so hard, and it'll just roll out of their fingers, and someone else will pick it up, and it'll be like, "Okay, yeah." And they never seem to be progressing or developing the whole premise. It just seems to be, as I said, a sitcom that I don't feel. I mean, I do want to go back and see it, but I don't know if I don't know if it's because it's being stretched over 20 episodes when we could squash this down to 12 and have the interesting stuff. But it just feels like that no, she's never really able to progress out of the initial premise. It feels to me.
I am in 100% agreement. I'm on the verge of dropping this. I really am. I know a lot of AniTubers really like the manga for Jahy, and again, they also seem disappointed with how the anime is going.
I mean, it's well animated, it looks great, but it's just man.
Yeah, so
voice actors are good as well. I don't mind them.
Yeah.
The points I have written down, Jahy is always portrayed as the same antagonistic protagonist, so like just unlikable protagonist, or however you want to put it, who always comes off as if she knows better, has more pride than the bloody sun, and it always falls victim to the same real life events over and over again, right? She interacts primarily with 3 characters only, but the intro and outro show at least 4 other characters, but they've been seen once. And in the thus far 8 episodes that I have seen, there's actually only 9 episodes out at the time of this recording. 10th episode is in less than 6 days.
No. Annie chart says 10th episode's out. 11th comes out in 5 days, 20 hours.
I'm looking at Annie chart and it says episode 10 of 20 airing in 5 days and 20 hours.
That's how numbers work, isn't it? Yeah.
Episode 10.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
I'm failing.
Cool.
I'm failing.
Cool.
Brain is not working today.
Right, okay. Yeah, so...
That's what I meant with that's how numbers work. Fail, LOz, fail.
Right, so out of 8 episodes... Like, there's one character that you see... basically, he's like this guy. He's sort of in a cape. He has like lappets and...
With a hat.
Yeah, very militaristic. And he's being picked up. And like he is in the intro, right? Effectively, if you add all the intro time up, he's in the intro more than actually in the show. Wow. He's made one appearance in the show, and that's it. This is the guy, right? And it's just like, why is he in the intro? You've only put him in the show once, right?
Well, it's still got 11 episodes then to do, so maybe that'll become an important character.
Maybe
you'd have to assume that, but. Who knows?
But like, you would have thought proper character introductions would have happened within the first, I don't know, before episode 8.
So, we don't have time for that. We need to have more fan service.
Oh my god!
Quick, look at the pub owner's tits.
Yeah.
Oh god, tell me about it. But the big thing is like she finally appears to start making progress. Episode 2 or 3. And then makes no progress whatsoever. And then, in fact, actually, slap the spoiler tag on.
Spoilers activate!
So basically, she's trying to hunt down more gems. Her footstool of a demon basically turns up in the world. This footstool has more gems than the sodding sun. Mm-hmm. Why Jahy can't just turn around and say, give me some of these? Right, I don't fucking know. She's so prideful, she won't actually ask for any of them. She tries to steal them, right? Gets caught, but then doesn't just ask for them. Like, she's supposed to be
I see what you mean, yeah. So the character who's subordinate to Jahy, it was Jahy's subordinate in the demon world. Yeah. And now she's actually able to, in the new world, in our world, actually quite proficient at things and does a lot better job than Jahy living.
She's like established herself like in a short time.
She's actually a CEO of a company.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Jahy could turn around and say, I see you've done a good job getting these crystals. Why don't you hand over what you've got? And because I need them to help me find more.
Your penthouse is now my penthouse.
Yeah.
It's just like
your penthouse isn't that, but she could twist it. It'd be like, good. I see you've made a good base here. I will use this as my extra base of operations to further my planning. So give me a key. There we go.
Well, it doesn't. She can't even compliment her that much, though. That's the problem.
It's like
you did a good job is too much.
No, but no. There's nothing wrong with her. No, I don't think there is, because it's not that she's done a good job. She could easily twist it, and it's that she keeps comparing her to her own successes, which are terrible, and thus she doesn't want to admit her own failings. But then she should just never admit her own failings and just treat the other person as her subordinate, and what yours is mine. She doesn't have to. The problem is when she goes, but I've done terribly, and I don't want her to know. Don't let her know. Just say, give me your stuff because I'm your boss.
Exactly, and it's just
I'm the great Jahy.
So yeah, exactly right. So basically, after Jahy finally gets another crystal, after several episodes, I do mean several, or it felt like a bloody eternity, the magical girl that turned up and destroyed the mana crystal turns up to try and actually take the mana crystal off of Jahy, right? And she fails because she's attacking a little kid. And eventually, the magical girl in her non-magical form has found another mana crystal the size of her fist. Jahy goes, give me that mana crystal because it'll just cause you bodily harm. And the magical girl's like, no, I'm a magical girl. I will dispose of this. I will take on the burden of misfortune to protect she doesn't realize that Jahy actually fucking Jahy. It's just some kid with a mana crystal, right?
Oh my god.
And so like everything is hitting this. Like she falls down like the magical girl. She falls down a sewer main. She gets hit by a piano falling from a building. Like she suffers all this misfortune. She's somehow still alive, right?
Well, she's magical.
When Jahy's pretty much taken out by a cold, right? And then she steals Jahy's mana crystal and then runs off. And that's it. Like so in fact, Jahy isn't making any progress forward because she's now back to 0.
Right. So yeah, so she is that by episode 9, is it?
8. I think
so by episode 8, the characters they're still in the same positions they started in. Especially for Jahy, whose progress is based on macros. What's the magical girl doing with the crystals?
Fuck knows. The magical girl's disappeared and we haven't seen her again since.
Right. So why is this girl being so useless when she literally just basically waltzed into the Demon Lord's castle and touched the crystal and exploded it, but now she's so useless that she drops down manholes and pianos drop on her head?
No, that's the whole point of like the misfortune that is generated by the mana crystal. So this was
right, but she's got one mana crystal in her hand that's the size of the fist. She wants Jahy's as well. Why doesn't she go take the one that she's holding? It's like, okay, well, I can't do anything while I'm holding this because I have misfortune. I'll go put this in my magical store bank and then I'll come back for Jahy's without the misfortune of dropping down manholes and pianos dropping in my head.
Because that would clearly happen in another 70 episodes time.
But isn't this girl the redhead? Isn't that the magical girl? Or is that just some girl that she meets? Okay.
No, it's in the big shot.
That's some girl that she meets that's in the fucking intro and outro.
Yeah.
And
this is actually the episode I watched.
This is the whole scene, right? This is the only scene with this character, right? And she's in the intro and outro. I don't fucking get it.
Well, I think what we're gonna have to do is, seeing as over half the show is still left to play, what it may have been is they've stretched out the start and we've got 11 episodes left. Maybe the 11 episodes when those characters all get to do things and those characters are on screen more. Let's put it on hold for now and probably come back to this one at the end of the next
season. If you can
season.
stand to watch more.
Well, I'm definitely going to catch up with it because I do like the premise and I do like the main character, but I want to see them succeed. It just annoys me that it's almost like that the main character is being kept in a holding pattern. If the character could break the fourth wall, complain at their own
Rising?
What's the word? Who's the word? Who's the
author.
word? Author. That's the one. Jahy should break the fourth wall and complain at the authors for like, why aren't you letting me progress? Why am I being kept in a holding pattern? Yeah.
And the big thing is, you can see that her subordinate Daruge has more like mountains of fucking mana crystals, right? Like, why can't there just be like lots and lots of tiny little bits of mana crystal that Jahy needs to fucking super glue together to make a pittance of no, but she makes no progress.
Like Inuyasha, where they were putting together the crystal in that one.
I have no idea what I've never watched Inuyasha. I'm just going to.
You're not really missing anything.
Cool. But Jahy is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Jahy, watch this. See, look, super gluing crystals out of 10.
Right. Moving on to the next one, which is Tsukamachi. Did that? Yeah, it has actually changed. There we go. So this is where is it? Tsukamachi Moonlit Fantasy. Right. So this is a generic isekai premise.
Yeah, before you say, by the way, I'm not letting you put spoilers because I've literally got this one loaded to watch and I was trying to watch it. So you can do this entire thing without spoilers because I want to go watch it after this.
Okay, cool. So, generic isekai premise.
Challenge mode.
Solid animation. Obvious generic, like your main protagonist has super strength or some bullshit. Like, it's the superpower that they have.
Isn't this the one where you called them, like, super bland?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so, right. Harem characters are kind of bleh. So, like, these two characters here, they're kind of asshole-ish, and it's just like, oh my god, can you not be so extreme? Can you tone it back a little bit? Just a little bit, right?
Nope.
The world building is actually fairly solid, but it lacks a bit of originality. really solid climax to the series, and I actually want to see the second part to this. I was genuinely really impressed with how they handled the end of part 1. And yeah, so I'm really up for watching part 2. So I actually do recommend. Would you say
the main character overcomes his blandness? Or is it just that everything else is so good?
No, I think he does overcome his blandness. It takes a long time to happen. But I do recommend people watch this. It does a lot of world building, and it doesn't dawdle on some of the other generic isekai crap. Like, you actually feel like stuff happens in these episodes, or maybe it's just because Realist Hero was just so... What happened in this episode? Where did the last 25 minutes go? That, so much more happens in this. But yeah, I do recommend people watch this one.
Awesome.
Now that part 1 is out. Cool. Should we skip straight on to the next?
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
I can't really say anything else because Loz wants to watch.
No, I want to watch that. I want to watch it, definitely. Yeah. So that seems good. I'll give it a rating out of 10.
Can I say best isekai of the season?
Ooh.
I mean,
out
of no, I'm pretty sure Villainess will top that. So
how about not stuck in a meeting out of 10?
Not stuck in a meeting out of 10. There you go. There were a few meetings though.
Best isekai not stuck in constant perpetual meetings out of 10.
Right. Okay. So let's move straight on to Nighthead. I don't know which one Nighthead is, Nasuth.
It's the guy with the white hair.
Okay, got it.
Excellent. So Nighthead is kind of a weird beast. I really did enjoy this season, but it's very strange at the end. I will say that they do actually explain everything, so you're not left with questions. But it's the way they get to that point is really kind of it's artistically beautiful, but I'm not sure it holds up to any kind of scientific rigor, if that makes sense. I could go ahead and get into that, actually.
Pop the spoiler button.
Yes. So we have 2 sets of brothers, which I think I've explained before, and they're connected by a paradox. And that paradox will destroy both... Oh, right, I should explain the 2 worlds. So there are 2 Earths in different dimensions. And one Earth has all the spiritual people. That's why they disappeared from the world that we see. And the other world is ruled by, everything has to be realist. There's no room for manga that focuses on the supernatural or songs or anything like that. So I don't really know how they created the other world. I just know that it's there. There's also an intermediary world between the 2 where the kids, this guy and his brother, spend like 15 years. But they didn't really spend 15 years there. There's some time travel shenanigans going on. Their souls ended up also creating the other pair of brothers. So that's where the paradox comes from. And the idea is that they have to try and sever the connection somehow to save the world. And that's where things start to get really, really weird. They create a paradox, they all go inside of it, and they figure things out about themselves, and like other people. The whole point was that the original pair, Naoya and Naoto, yes, the guy with the blue hair and gray hair, they disappear. What? Are you interested in watching this, LOz, at all?
Yes.
Okay, then I won't.
But
I won't give
I'm
away
terrible
the ending.
for remembering things but I won't watch it today, so I'll probably forget. So yeah,
I won't give away the ending, but I did really enjoy. There are themes of corruption, like using the bad guys use psychic powers to try and stop psychic powers. There's prophets. It's got a lot of really cool stuff in it. And like I said, everything does make sense by the end. They explain the paradox. They explain all the time travel shenanigans. So all of that does make sense by the end. The actual plot does make sense. It's just the the kind of climax with the world's in peril that's kind of weird.
Fair enough.
I would rate it, I guess, I would rate it a dystopian future out of 10.
Not brotherly love out of 10?
That's not unique enough.
Brotherly love would work too.
Just the better brotherly love in a dystopian future with psychics out of 10.
Yeah, there you go.
Damn.
Any questions about it?
How is the animation? Because I'm pretty sure this was one of the CGI ones.
Yes, this is the whole live 2D thing. I will say that it's actually one of the best I've seen. Like, the action's pretty good. It's still just a tiny bit stiff because I think it's always going to be a tiny with this kind of animation. But they did a really good job with the action scenes. It felt pretty fluid. It looks gorgeous. It's probably easily one of the best I've seen that has the whole 3D animation thing.
Like, was it X-Arm? That was done by that company that never did an anime before. And
yeah, I was just thinking, should we do an episode one season of like bad CGI in anime or something, and just basically find clips of X-Arm being terrible? Because I've seen some and I've heard it gets worse. It's just apparently awful, just awful.
I don't know why, but I'm thinking bad CG anime series chicken. Like, how far can you get before you just can't watch anymore?
Oh no!
Right, let's do the last one. Let's turn off the spoilers. That's cool. And then we got the last one, which is Villainess.
Oh, it ended here. Yeah, okay. So this is the season 2 of My New Life as a Villainess. I enjoyed it. I referred to this as my guilty little pleasure. It's a continuation from the first season. I will actually being before put spoilers on. It was okay, but I felt it lacked the focus that the first season has, and you just feel a bit aimless with what's going on. But it almost feels like it is trying to have a important subplot underlying it. But then it just doesn't have, because in the first season, obviously, the first season, the key thing is that the main character knows there's a certain point in the story, because they feel they're stuck in a video game, where they have to succeed by this point. Whereas in this season, we don't really have that overarching feel. So if you enjoy the setting of the first season, you wanted more, that's what you're going to get. But I just felt like it just felt a little bit aimless. And then, so let's have some spoiler tag. Wang that spoiler button.
Bam.
Spoiler button. So there.
What? Did we both hit it at the same time?
No,
I'm not. No, I'm pushing. I'm just pushing my camera in VR.
There we go.
So I can say like, push that spoiler button. Yeah. So the first season's really good. I really enjoy the first season because these are the meetings in her head where she's trying to avoid what she calls like her doom scenario, because her character that she is in the first season, in the video game that she realizes she's stuck in, or the world she's stuck in, either gets all the outcomes were either she gets killed by one of the harem the protagonists of the virtual, the visual novel should be art. Is it visual? No, what am I thinking? What's the
Light
dating
novel?
sims called?
Shoot. No, it is visual novel.
I think it is visual novel. Yeah.
Are you talking about?
Visual novel. So the blonde character in there is the character you would play in the visual novel, and then all the boys there are obviously the characters they would go for. So that you could the paths you could progress. So in all of the paths she knew of, she either gets exiled or she gets killed by the male character. So that's in the first season. So that's what she knows is the outcome she's trying to avoid. And obviously, first season she avoids that. And then the second season we don't have that, because it's almost like she succeeded. So she's just, if you like the characters, I say you'll enjoy the second season because it's more of them exploring it without that lifted off. But at the same time, there is a deeper story going on, as in this setting here is at the end of the first season, with the way this world works is that some people are born with the ability to use magic, and there's several elements. I think fire, earth, light, and probably water, but I don't think we ever see anyone use water. And apparently, light's a really rare one. And you can, and you're born with that. But there's an underlying story that's to do with the fact that you can give people shadow magic by killing somebody in a ritual. in the first season, it comes up with a recurring character, and that was them confronting it at the end of that season. In the second season, you feel like, okay, that's not a thing then, but then it starts coming back again, and they do there are characters who are like coming into the plot and then leave the plot, who don't get tackled or anything. You know, it's like, oh, you've got shadow magic, that's bad. We need to suppress that. And there's an underlying story of like the nobles are trying to keep the knowledge that shadow magic exists away from the populace, and obviously it's like, oh, but there's more and more shadow users turning up, so it's like, that's really interesting. And at the end of the season, it does pretend like it's going to have a third season where where it says, like, you know, it goes into a whole thing of like, I can't remember the name of the video game, like, Magical Lover or something. It's like Magical Lover 2, and it's like, so it has the setting where the main character is now in a different setting that it leads into. But I don't know if we're getting a third season, which would then go into that deeper plot. But yeah, so but it is just a bit of fun. I called it my guilty pleasure because I enjoyed it and I got the whole way through it. But it does feel a bit less driven than the first season. I love the first season. I would definitely say watch the first season because it is fun to see her struggling against her inevitable doom. But the second season, because we don't have that, she actually gets into some worse situations, but just you don't feel any threat for her because like she doesn't even care. It's just yeah. So it's okay, cool. But I would give it. What would I give it out of 10? I don't know. I don't want to be mean and say not as good as the first season out of 10 because I did enjoy it.
Out of 10.
But
Evil Henchman out of 10.
No, I will give it
Head Meeting out of 10.
Oh no! Actually, the other thing they explore in this season a bit more is that. So basically, what happens in the first season that she overcomes it is obviously she's supposed to be either killed or exiled from the country because people hate her. But because she's actually a nice person, but a bit of a blockhead. She twists everyone around to loving her without it. But the thing is, not in a mean way. She doesn't even realize that every character is actually she has actually become the main character of the video game, and every character is gunning for her. Everyone, literally, and then she keeps finding more people, and she, with just by being such a bit of a nice blockhead, they're then gunning for her, and then you get the main characters literally despairing every now and then, going, "Oh God, you've ensnared another one." So it just. Yeah, so I will just call this: will this visual novel ever progress out of 10? Because the main character, you get, in the second season, you get characters literally like just trying to get in her face and being like, "No, either I'm engaged to you and we're going to get married, or I have feelings for you. Please acknowledge them." And she's like, "Huh, really?" It just, yeah. So I enjoyed it, but it is: will this visual novel ever progress down a path out of 10? There you go.
That is another one that I actually need to pick up. I meant to, but
definitely the first season.
I just slipped my mind.
The first season is a lot of fun.
Cool. Right. Well,
cool.
I think we are done now for our.
Just in case you do want to chop through these to make a out of 10 compilation. I don't think I did one for Slime, so that would be best isekai that is stuck in a meeting out of 10.
Did we do one for Sonny Boy?
Did
no,
you do one?
It's fine.
Do a Sonny Boy.
Oh, I should actually say about Sonny Boy and Nighthead, there is no confirmed second season, and I'm kind of glad about that. I think Sonny Boy came to a really good conclusion. I'm not sure how you could do a second season. I think you could do a second season with Nighthead, but it also came to a very definite conclusion. So there's no real cliffhanger there.
Cool. All right, let's hit the that button. So I'm putting us back in the 3-person group. There we go. Cool.
Nice.
Right, so we are now going to move on to the supporter questions. Yep. So these are the lovely questions that the Patreon supporters from my channel donate. Maybe at some point in time we'll create a Patreon just for Kanpai Cast. We are not there. We about that sort of stuff. But
we're not looking to rush. We're looking to grow naturally, slowly.
That's right.
Apart from getting the YouTube name.
Well, that was important.
I thought you'd done that.
That in the Twitter.
Exactly. That's my point. That we rushed. I was going to let that happen naturally, but then we had to rush it. Right?
For reasons.
Yeah, for reasons. Right, so Thaylien asks, as always with supporter questions, it's time to hit like, comment, subscribe, and visit the Discord for all your usual YouTube algorithm pleasing things. The hosts read all comments. Some of them even get read out on the show. So take a few seconds to give your thoughts. Right. Then Thaylien asks, with the last week's show being all about missed opportunities, this week's question is about opportunities you didn't expect. What show can you remember left a perfect Chekhov's gun or built up a brilliant use of opportunity that you didn't actually see coming?
That's really hard.
Oh, that is hard.
You see, we had to sit and think for the other one, so I would like to put that question on the back burner because I think I could probably come up with one, but I can't just off the top of my head. It's a good question.
Wait, weren't you supposed to do last week's question as well for this week?
What was that?
the harem one.
No, I think he did that. I'm pretty sure he did that.
We did that one on the go.
Yeah.
I remember Nasuth and I doing it on the go.
No, I think you'll find you were being rubbish about it. I jumped in with a really good one with a mech show. Remember, I had and then I corrected you because you were, instead of coming up with the correct Hamilton characters, were pulling characters from other shows to put in your show instead of inventing new characters.
No, I wanted to double check. Okay.
Best.
Yeah. Okay. Best Chekhov's gun.
No, like I say I'm gonna think on this one.
Part of the problem is that I don't watch, honestly, that much anime. And a lot of the ones I do aren't like, when they set it up, it's you can see it. It's not really like hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm struggling with this massively.
Yeah, so basically, a surprising twist that, though you didn't see coming, was established by pre-existing things.
Yeah,
Like,
when you look back
that's
on it,
really
it's
clever.
Like, yeah, all those little things. Probably. Ooh, maybe Perfect Blue, which, if you haven't seen it, is a crazy, creepy movie.
See, I don't. Oh, here you go.
Dura. So it's oh god, I can't remember the name of it. Basically, it's a series that's about urban Tokyo with like various urban legends and gangs and things like this. I can't remember when it was. I'm pretty sure it was like late noughties, and it was honestly it was really good. The plot twists kind of came out of nowhere. That one I would say was actually really good in terms of the plot, and yeah, I understood correctly.
Yeah, I don't want to do spoilers for anyone who does want to watch Naruto, but I would say Naruto does a few good ones because of how they set up long existing characters and characters which are literally like, oh, you think this is just a world building background character from a long time ago? It's like, oh no, they were important. Oh, they were this. Or, oh yeah, you thought this, this person, we spent like 300 episodes explaining how bad this person is because of everything they did. And it showed, and you see them turn up and they're just a dick to everyone. And it turns out that they did it for these reasons, which like, that kind of makes sense. But obviously nothing before had really shown that, but so there was a few examples of that. I don't want to spoil any of them, but they're just pretty good.
Cool.
Yep.
At some point, all of us are going to have to watch One Piece or read it.
No.
I may have a resource you can use, but we'll talk about it after the stream.
Well, I've heard that maybe instead of watching it, is read it. Apparently reading it's pretty good.
I'd rather slam my hand in a car door.
I'll find a car.
Do you know how long that damn shit is? Anyway. Right. Struggle to read what's called Goblin Slayer, let alone anything else. Right, so the next question
well, we are all aware that how hard reading things in front of your face is for you, Xeno, so that's forgivable.
Right, okay.
And I'm the blind one.
And it's pretty pictures. Anyway, so moving on. The next question comes from Zrugal. What was the last YouTube video you watched?
Ooh.
I know exactly what mine was, and that was how to get YouTube Reels. How to get Instagram Reels uploaded from your PC.
Is there a way to find out what my last one was?
Yeah.
Go to history. While you're looking up yours, I'm pretty sure mine is, even though it's on the computer behind me, was top cutest moments of Kana from Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Oh, actually, it was this one. So it's all the Albrecht and Trotty Requiem, because somebody asked about it, and so I went and looked it up.
Right, okay, cool.
It's actually, that's probably one of my favorite lore bits currently in the game. Not that this is completely off topic, sorry about that.
Yep, completely. Right, so that's it for the supporter questions. We're now going to move on to the comments from last week. So, only a few comments. Ali Al-Khatib, back of talking about Kyokai Senki, which is one of the upcoming anime mecha mecha anime from autumn 2021.
Oh yeah, that is in a day. That's cool.
Yeah, you say in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds built a bike from scraps. So this was
card games are motorcycles. Say
you're
let's go play card games on motorcycles.
You're focusing on the wrong part here. We were talking during last week how on earth can this guy build a fucking mecha out of junk? I'm pretty sure it's gonna be too hard to do it. Like, I get building a PC or a car or something. So
you find it hard that he built what?
So no. But Al Khatib is saying, like, well, considering this guy built a motorcycle out of scrap,
And what did you do with it?
I don't know. Played fucking card games.
Okay, so motorcycles.
Yeah.
You say?
I'd say a motorcycle is probably slightly easier than a mech.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But yeah, it is a good point that people can build things, but a motorcycle, even one that you can play card games on, is still a bit more straightforward and simple than a mech.
Yep. Nick
I
Evans.
can't wait to see how he builds this, but yeah.
Nick Evans. Well, it's probably just going to be done. It's probably just going to be finished. And it's like, I built this myself.
I turned it on.
This is what I made earlier.
But so also just to point out, if anyone doesn't know why I'm yelling car games on motorcycles like that, I assume at some point we will do our abridged series episodes, and yeah, that is from the Yu-Gi-Oh ones. It's a running joke because the guy who does Yu-Gi-Oh Bridge refuses to do Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds. Apart from they convinced him for charity to do one of it, and he just yells car games on motorcycles so many times. Yeah. Anyway.
Right. The next one is from Nick Evans. An episode suggestion, iconic movies, anime movies. This would cover what movies you consider are iconic and why, along with award-winning movies in Western countries, like, still anime ones, like, ones that the West has given awards to, and what you think of them. So, like, how Spirited Away. Why is Loz just turning into a pair of hands? Where'd Loz go?
My hip tracker has run out of power.
So you just died?
No. Hang on.
He collapsed to the floor.
There I am.
Oh my god.
Right. Okay. JJ24. World's End Harem sounds like the Futurama episode of Death by Snoo Snoo.
That's what I'm expecting. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see my hands. Help me!
Can you make a little hand puppet, or is that too much to? I don't think it can. I don't think it can really handle it.
Right. Okay. And then Killer Queen 2000 says, "Don't miss out on Blue Period." So this is an OVA series that I completely missed out of Anichart, and it does look really super interesting. Where a guy effectively tries super hard to get into an art school, and like he's not shown any interest in anything else for further education until he experienced this one painting that just changed his way of thinking, and he wants to become an artist.
That actually does sound kind of interesting.
Yeah. So
almost like a period piece sort of thing, but
Blue
not
period.
really. Yeah.
Yeah. So Blue Period, right? So
yeah, we'll see.
That is it for the community responses. it is now time for the memories. Do you want to take a second to actually get yourself back up, LOz, or are you just gonna continue to lie on the job?
Down here. What?
Right, okay. So, are you ready, Nasuth?
Sure.
Ooh, hold on, I need to put us to that. And then that. Cool. There you go. So this is your first meme.
It's a little hard to see at this size, but it's anime is educational now. And then SpongeBob starts pointing out all these different animes that are most definitely not educational. Hang on, I can bring up the original.
For everyone else, the link will be in the description of the video.
Yep.
Ah, right. Okay. Anime is now educational. And we've got... Okay.
I don't know what that one is.
I'm not sure what that one is.
Food Wars.
Food Wars.
Shirobako. Dr. Stone.
Silver Spoon.
Silver Spoon.
Oh, it's also black.
Yeah. I'm not sure what any of those are, but I know enough to know that they are not educational.
Oh, God.
I've not watched Cells at Work Black. Is it not educational? Cells at Work was actually right.
It kind of is, but it's also like super fucking gritty. Okay. And it's just like, yeah.
Cells at Work, by the way, if you wanted to be, it's technically correct. It's
Interesting.
If you wanted an interesting way to just learn a bit more about the human body, it's perfectly fine. Obviously, it's an anime-esque thing, so things like there's characters which are platelets, and platelets get expended making scabs, and they don't. They use things which pretend to be expended, but the premise is right, so it's good.
Right. The second community shout-out from Nasuth is this one.
Normal people. Oh no, my salad! JoJo fans. Caesar!
Do you get that, LOz?
I assume there's an enemy, a villain or something called Caesar, and it's a Caesar salad. But it just, I can feel it's good.
Yeah.
The meme is strong.
I don't think you really have to have watched JoJo to understand how funny this is. You should.
It's a JoJo's reference.
But everyone should, yes. Everyone needs to understand that.
And then Nasuth's third one.
Whoa, I'm back. Why am I back?
Whoa, he's back. Gods that guide you to the afterlife. Egypt has Osiris. Europe has Death. Japan has Buskun. Truckun.
I'm pretty sure that's not Osiris. That's Anubis, isn't it?
Anubis. Sorry, yes, Anubis. You're right.
Yeah. No, I love that. Oh my God, we did an Arbiters, an anime
themed Arbiters.
I don't know when it's coming out, but basically it involved myself, Truckun, and an onsen. That's all I'm gonna say. What? I don't even know how it goes. Anyway, so we're gonna move on to my first meme for this week. So we've got reasons why Aqua is Kazuma's bro. Regularly parties with him. Tries her best to help out. Has seen his
Oh dear.
And then my second meme. Hey, my face is up here. I've made my choice. This is from Goblin Slayer. I honestly don't know why.
Is this Goblin Slayer abridged?
Maybe it is.
Is there? Oh, of course there is. I'm gonna have to go look that up.
Oh, Goblin Slayer Bridge is amazing, but you have to watch Goblin Slayer to really appreciate how amazing it is.
So good.
I should watch the Goblin Slayer. Good. Everyone seems to love it.
Okay. The only thing with Goblin Slayer is just grit yourself for the first episode. You will be hooked by the end of that first episode, but it does not pull punches.
I've heard.
Yeah, it's quite gruesome. So anyway, then my third and final community shout. Sorry, my third and final meme, which. Yeah. Oh, an unwanted notebook here. Gotta write my name on the front page.
Oh no. And thus, the series never happened. And everyone was saved.
Everyone was spared. I don't get why people like Death Note. I really fucking don't. I think
Maybe we should get. I know we just come up with random episodes. By the way, if anyone has any ideas for any episode suggestions, we are always open to suggestions. We have a very long list, and we're willing to add to it. But maybe we should get people who like Death Note, and then we can discuss with them. Like, so why do you like Death Note? Please explain why.
I don't know. I think I just like either just constantly shout at them, or we'll see how that goes out. But
that could be fun.
Anyway, right. So that's it for the memes. Gonna hit this button, and then I'm gonna hit this button. Right. Cool. So next week, our topic will be Star Wars Visions. You know, we're going to be talking about our thoughts and feelings for that. Just going to check with you guys. Have you seen all the episodes yet?
I have not. I need to watch them this week. Yeah.
I've watched all but one.
Been slacking.
Right.
Because, just
Okay.
one. I have lots I want to talk about on these because, So I cannot wait for next week's episode. We may actually go 3 hours on this because I might start ranting endlessly.
Really? Wow.
Oh my god, I have so much to say.
Okay, let's okay. Sorry, I thought you were about to actually give an opinion.
No.
Okay, cool. So, just so everyone's aware, we are very careful not to influence the perception of the show to each other. So all we just say is yes, we've seen them, and until we've all seen them together. And LOz and I think Nasuth both know that I watched it like at the last weekend.
The day the day it aired, yeah.
I'm so itching to talk about it.
Fine, I'll talk about it or watch it.
The key thing is, we don't influence it. It's about me and Xeno, and I want to say why this law started with me and Xeno. There was a point where Xeno was saying about a film he was watching. Oh, I'm really enjoying this film.
No, this was Rise of the Shield Hero.
Oh, okay, that was Rise of the Shield Hero, but then that was kind of a bit of a vague one. But the thing where it really proved that we needed it was when you started talking about, what was it, Upgrade? That film with the robotic chip in the guy's back.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you were saying about, oh, this film's really good. And I went, isn't that the film where this happened? You're like, well, I hadn't actually finished the film yet.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh, okay. So that's why we carefully say, like, have you watched this yet? I think, for instance, like, the second season of 86 part 1's the part 2 episode 1's come out, and Xeno, I don't know if you did it on recording, you checked have you watched this yet, LOz. So we do, because we don't want to preemptively watch something and say like, oh yeah, I didn't really like that episode, I felt a bit meh. Even without spoiling the episode, you've biased the person before viewing.
Xeno and I didn't really talk about Sonny Boy as it was coming, and clearly we have differing opinions on that.
But LOz and I, we discovered this primarily from watching Rising of the Shield Hero as it was airing. And if whoever watched it first gave their opinion to the other person, it dissuaded them, right?
I talked about negative there, but it can also affect in positive. If, say, for instance, one of us would say, oh, I thought that episode was amazing. The other person then goes, oh yeah, cool, it's going to be amazing. And then they come away going, when was the amazing thing supposed to happen? Because their expectations were pushed by the person. So we try to be very careful with these things.
So basically, it's just a case of, have you watched it or not? Then we wait. So, right. So that is it for what we're going to do next week. And I think, we've done the memes. I think that's it for the show.
I believe that is it.
Yeah, we're done. We're out. We good. We Gucci. We finito.
Are we gonna do it?
We're gonna Kanpai together.
We're gonna Kanpai.
Are we gonna Kanpai?
We're gonna Kanpai. We're gonna Kanpai. We're gonna Kanpai. We're gonna Kanpai. You're gonna Kanpai.
Bye. We'll get there eventually. Right, that's it for this episode. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Who's turning it off?
My track is broken.